long ago, and it happened far away. The moral of the story has been lost until today. Although we shouldn't let the past complicate the now, we wrap a stack of artifacts that help us show us how. Whatnot hopes and soggy dreams become who I am today. I'm feeling more alive in more important ways. Lost all ability to think for myself. I put it on the table, then you help yourself. Wow, wow. This place stinks of corruption. Shots fired confirm my assumption. Everyone is evil in their own special way. This advice I'm giving you today.
Welcome everybody, good to be with you for Classical Studies. This is Mr. Childers. Sorry to deprive you of the glory of seeing my face in this video, but as I record this, it is July 23rd, still summer break, so I am far too busy reading these really awesome Hawkman comics from like the year 2002. Far too busy doing that to put on, what do you call it, pants, and so you get a narrated PowerPoint, which I know is students' absolute favorite thing in the universe. This video is specifically intended to cover the material that we will cover on the second day of class in Classical Studies 1. So the intended audience for this video are students who are part of my Classical Studies 1 course and are not going to be on campus on the second day of school, or if it's a couple weeks in the future, who were not on campus during the second day of school, or people who were here but still want to review some of the things we talked about. If that's not you, you're under absolutely no obligation to continue watching this video. Feel free to go away and do something of great important value, such as reading these really good Hawkman comics from about the year 2002. Those of you who are sticking around, this is a very important conversation we're going to have, because today we're going to talk about how you earn college credit for taking this class. So we're going to talk about the specifics of the Cambridge exam and what I call your Cambridge project. Every time I use that term, there's been some confusion in past years because, well, let's just face it, I'm dumb and I don't say things good. When I speak about Cambridge projects, your project is to prepare for this exam. So we're going to talk about what the exam is about, what you'll do to prepare for the exam, therefore how to earn your college credit, and then we'll close off by briefly talking about our class covenant, the document that governs our relationship and interaction with each other for the coming year. All right, so every ACE or Cambridge course is sponsored by Cambridge Assessment International Education, a division of Cambridge University in the United Kingdom. Cambridge University founded 1209. I believe we talked about that in the last class period. Cambridge courses come in two levels. AS level, the advanced subsidiary level, which is year 1, and A level, advanced, year 2. You are, if you are the intended audience of this video, you are here at the AS level. Four Corners does also offer the A level Advanced Classical Studies, that is Classical Studies 2, which you are free to sign up for in the coming year. As of right now, in the year 2022, this is our first A-level course. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's get through AS level together first. But keep that in the back of your mind, that if you enjoy and benefit from what we do together this year, there is a way to keep the party rocking for an entire second year. Yes, I said that as lamely as possible. Okay, so to prepare for your Cambridge exam, you are going to conduct two major research projects. One of those projects is related to ancient Greek civilization, and the other project will be related to ancient Roman civilization. You will be put together with a group of people working on the same topic for each of your projects to help one another prepare for the exam, though of course you will take the exam on your own. Under each of these categories, Greek civilization and Roman civilization, you will have three options to choose from. These options are determined ahead of time by Cambridge University. For each of the topics, the Greek topic and the Roman topic, you will have an option specifically related to history and historical events, an option specifically related to literature, and an option specifically related to art, as in visual arts or engineering. You will be provided by me, one, with a detailed list of information you're responsible for learning. So I'm not just going to say, okay, you've chosen to do your project on, let's say, one of the top possible topics is Abraham Lincoln. Obviously it won't be because he's not Greek, but let's say the topic is Abraham Lincoln. I'm not just going to say, okay, go learn about Lincoln, you got a year, do it good. Do it good or you fail. What, are you stupid? Do it good, I said. No, I'll provide you from Cambridge a detailed list of the specific information that you're responsible for learning over the coming year, so that you can target your study, you can target your work. You'll be provided with the primary sources, the required sources that are necessary to successfully research the topic. I will give you electronic copies of the primary sources, and by primary sources, when they're written, we're talking about things that were written 2,000 or more years ago. I'll provide you with free electronic copies. I do highly recommend that you purchase physical copies of the books, and I will provide you with a list that has Amazon links to the specific hard copy books that you can pick up. All of these will be available in paperback through Penguin Classics for a relatively reasonable price, and you can often find through Amazon or eBay, you can often find used copies for an even reasonabler price. But that's just a suggestion. The sources are required, but I give them to you as electronic copies. I suggest your study will go better with physical copies, but that's not a requirement. You're not required to spend a nickel for this class. I will also have a limited number, usually one each, of most of the primary sources available for your use in the class, but because the number is limited and there will be many people working on the same topic, those cannot be taken out of the class. You'll be provided suggested secondary sources for free when I'm able to get them to you for free, and I have quite a few put together for these topics. These are sources that are not required, but may greatly benefit you in your research. Especially if, let's face it, most of us don't grow up reading 2,000-year-old books regularly. And ancient writers thought differently and they spoke differently, and if we're not accustomed to reading ancient sources, they can be quite a challenge. You're up to the challenge, you can do it, but many of us, myself included, will greatly benefit from supplementing that primary source research with things written in modern times that can help us put in context the ancient writers. You'll be provided with weekly in-class time. It says usually Thursdays on your screen. As of this recording, I don't know which day it will be. It was Thursdays last year. The day we dedicate to Cambridge research in class will depend on when I have access to additional iPads or computers. Last year, Ms. Yeager loan me some. Maybe she'll do the same this year. She's so very, very kind. And then as the year progresses, once we move into the middle of third quarter, then certainly in fourth quarter, more and more and more of our in-class time will be devoted to the Cambridge project, so that by the end of the year, that will be almost exclusively what we do, is work on this research. You'll get teacher guidance, of course, so I'm not just turning you loose on a pile of 2,000-year-old sources, but I'll be with you at every step along the way to assist you and help you understand and put things in context as best I can. Collaboration opportunities, that is prep only, and by that I mean, of course, you cannot collaborate on the exam itself when the time comes to take the test, but you will be working in a group to do that preparation. Specifically, all students will be placed in groups with other students working on the same topics. So if one of the topics is Hawkman Comics circa 2002, well then, and there are 6 students have chosen to cover Hawkman Comics circa 2002, well then the 6 of you will be put together in a group, and you'll work together for the duration of the year. The groups will prepare a detailed study guide for the exam. So that's what, at the end of the year, you will turn in to me, and that will be the product of your work. It'll be due in May. More details on the specifics of the study guide, I will give you those details when we create the groups during the second week of class. Actually, I think we create the groups early in the third week of class. So I know, I should choke on my lies. The exam itself will take place around November 2023. That has been the norm for the past several years, except for the 2022 exam is scheduled for very late October. That's why I say C is circa. If you don't know that, you'll want to know that for our discussion of ancient history. C means circa, which means about. So the exam will be in about November of 2023. You'll notice that means that the exam takes place after this class has finished. It will be during the next academic year. And by the way, if it turns out I get lazy and reuse this video in future years, the November 2023 date is for the 2022-23 school year. Please just if it's after the year 2022 and you're watching this in the future, deep in the future, just ask me when your exam date is. One question that comes up for many people is, what happens if I graduate or move? That's one of the suckiest parts of this job, is that, sometimes people just go away, and everybody eventually goes away, except me. So what happens, what if your family moves to Arizona or Zimbabwe over the summer? Well, the most straightforward thing for you to do, if possible, if you've moved to Arizona or Zimbabwe, this may not be possible, but if, let's say, you've moved to downtown Orlando, you live 50 minutes away from school, so you go to a different school, well, just schedule a time, or plan on coming back to Four Corners to take the exam here on campus. That should be an excusable absence. If you're attending another high school, or if you've graduated and are attending college, that should easily be an excusable absence for class at another school. If you're not able to come back, so let's say you have moved to Arizona and it's not feasible for you to come back to sit for an exam at Four Corners, talk to me and we will find you another location to take the test. However, please know that the test is only free for you if you take it here at Four Corners. Off the top of my head, I don't know how much it cost to sit for the exam. Doesn't cost $10 million. It might be $100, $150, but I mean it's not negligible either. So and it's not free. It's just that Four Corners has paid for you to take the test. But that only counts if you take the test here. However, if you move away and can't take the test here, you're not totally out of luck. You'll just have to pay to take the test elsewhere. I will help you find an elsewhere at which to take the test. The only people who have any real cause for concern is seniors who are intending to graduate with the Cambridge diploma and are intending to do so with exactly the minimum required number of Cambridge credits, including this class. That should not be very many people, but if you fit all of those categories, you're a senior, you're going for the Cambridge diploma, you expect to have exactly the amount of credits required to get the Cambridge diploma, including this class with none to spare. In that case, I refer you to Mr. Winters, who should be able to help you figure out what we need to do to make sure you get your Cambridge diploma. For anybody else, even other graduating seniors, having the exam scheduled next year is not a problem. You just come back and take it. Okay. The exam will consist of 4 essay questions, usually taken over a period of 2 days. 2 of the essay questions will be regarding Greek civilization. 2 of the essay questions will be regarding Roman civilization. 2 of the questions, 1 each, 1 Greek, 1 Roman, will be mandatory. And then the remaining Greek question and Roman question, you will be able to choose from a list of options. All of the essay questions will be related to the topic that you have chosen to do for your Cambridge research. So, if you have chosen to do your, let's say vampires and werewolves are the options. They're not, but let's say they are. If you've chosen to do your Greek research on the topic of vampires, well, your Greek test will be all about vampires. There will be no werewolves questions on your Greek test. The exams are created by Cambridge International. They're sent to us in the mail. They are kept secure. None of us have any access to them ahead of time. They are then sent back to Cambridge International and graded by Cambridge International. So, though I am here with you to prepare you for the exam, I have no role whatsoever in the grading of the exam. Your report card grade for this course does not include the exam. Think about it. The exam takes place after the school year has ended. Nearly a year and a half from now, if you're watching this at the beginning of the school year. So let's say you take the Cambridge exam and it doesn't go well. Zeus forbid it doesn't go well. Well, we're not going to go back into your file and change the past and change your A in this course to an F minus or what have you. So your course grade on your report card does not include the exam. Here's what your grade includes. It includes all the high school level classwork. We talked in the first class session about us doing 2 tracks at the same time. The Cambridge work is the college track. The high school level classwork, that is regular assignments, readings and questions, or your independent research projects. You're doing the 2 independent research projects this year. That stuff is included on your for your class grade. And your group projects, your preparation for the exam, as you're working on putting these study guides together. Remember, I haven't given you any details about the study guides. We'll do that when we create the groups. But you are expected, even though the exam doesn't count towards your grade, you are expected and required to be making good progress in your preparation for that exam, which is working in your groups to create your study guides. And I will be regularly measuring your progress with progress reports. Sometimes they'll be real simple things. Just tell me what you've done in the past 2 weeks in your research on Thomas Jefferson, or whatever your research topic is. And sometimes they'll be more specific, but you will be graded on that. And I ended up deciding against this option last year. I did other things with the practice exams. I reserve the right to give practice Cambridge exams and have them count for your grade, but I'm not guaranteeing you that will happen. To excel in this course, you must make a serious effort when working on your Cambridge projects. In fact, I didn't word that strongly enough. I want you to excel in this course. Truth be told, to not only excel, but to succeed at all, really to pass this course, you must make a serious effort when working on your Cambridge projects. But no one will fail this class because he or she is struggling with the Cambridge projects. We're all at different levels and have different amounts of experience with research. For many of us, this will be our first experience with serious university-level primary source research. It can be challenging. If you're struggling with the challenge, that's good. The guy on your screen is struggling. You see that? How frustrated he is. Like, God, I don't get this. Now, what's he going to do next? 1 second after this picture is taken, what's he going to do? He's going to put up his hand. He's going to say, hey, you teacher, could you give me a hand here? Could you help me out? You're not going to be penalized for struggling. I don't expect you to already know the things which it is my job to help you learn as you move along. And the learning process is about going from not knowing stuff to knowing stuff, and which means passing through that stage in the middle where you know a little bit of stuff and don't know other stuff. Struggling is not a problem. Struggling like this guy will not damage your grade. This, on the other hand, that she is doing the exact opposite of struggling. She has given up. She has gone to sleep. I could just as easily put a picture of someone playing on her phone. If you're not making serious progress, a serious effort to learn this material and to contribute to your groups, this is totally a group project too. Then we have a problem. And the result can be, I hate to open the year with threats, but you just be aware that if someone who is part of a group of people working on researching these topics who is not carrying his or her weight, not contributing, will end up having to do the project solo, and then if they're continuing not to make any progress, we'll have very grave difficulty passing the class. So just don't put yourself in that position. Okay, so everybody will choose a Greek topic and a Roman topic. There will be historical, literary, and artistic options for both Greece and Rome. Let's talk about what those options are. So your first option for your Greek project is Alexander the Great. King Alexander III of Macedon, who lived from 356 to 323 BC, conquered the largest empire in history as of his time and spread Greek culture throughout the world. You will read 2 ancient biographies and examine ancient images in paintings, sculpture, and coins. So the historical option for the Greek project is Alexander the Great. Or you may choose option 2. The literary option is Aristophanes. Aristophanes, who lived from 446 to 386 BC, was an Athenian playwright and comedian. You'll read 3 of his plays and examine their social and political context, as well as becoming familiar with Greek theater as a whole. Right, so that's the second option. His plays are comedies. They are obviously the same way that you and your parents don't laugh at all the same things, but there will be some overlap. Everybody, thinks farts are funny. There'll be some overlap between you and your parents, but not total. We got to think this guy is living, 2,400 years ago. The sense of humor is not going to be identical, and yet there are portions of his work that just about anyone would still find genuinely funny, a genuine cause for laughter today, and they're also the foundation of what we consider to be comedy today too. So that's your literary option for Greece. Option 3, your artistic option, is themes in Greek vase painting. You will examine this visual artistic tradition through primary sources and your own research. So I give you a warning here, just to be upfront with you. I can provide you less help with this option than with the other 2. Just speaking honestly about my own background and research, in my own education, I spent a good bit of time in the classics and in the ancient world, but my degree was in philosophy, so other elements of ancient life were more in the background. And when it comes to Greek vase painting, I probably had 1 or 2 days on Greek vase painting over the whole course of my university education. So you're welcome to pursue this topic, especially if you are a self-starter who works well independently. I'm not saying I won't help you or that I know absolutely nothing. Just know that if you're struggling with something in this topic, it may look more like you and I learning something together for the first time. At the same time, we also do have an art department here at Four Corners. We have art teachers. We offer an art history course, so there are people on staff who are probably more qualified than I am to help you with this project. And so if you don't let my lack of expertise in the subject hold you back. If this is something you're interested in, just speak to me if you'd like for me to help connect you with some of the art teachers at our school and get you moving forward on this. So everybody, for your Greek project, will choose one of these 3: Alexander, Aristophanes, or themes in Greek vase painting. And in a week or so, you'll be put into groups with other people who are working on the same projects. You will also choose a topic related to Roman civilization. And once again, there are options. There are historical, literary, and artistic options. The historical option for Rome is Augustus Caesar. Octavian Augustus Caesar, who lived from 69 BC to 14 AD, was the nephew and adopted son of the great Julius Caesar, and was the first emperor of Rome. You will explore primary accounts of his life and reign in his autobiography and ancient historians, his portrayal in ancient poetry, and in ancient visual art. One of the most influential and important people of all time, the great Augustus Caesar. Fun fact, I guess it's been a year or so, but about a year ago I typed in Augustus Caesar into Google, and a helpful little blurb popped up from Google calling him a former Roman Empire, or former Roman emperor. So just so you're aware, Augustus Caesar is not the current Roman emperor, having been dead since the year 14. That's your first option, Augustus Caesar. Option 2, the Aeneid. You will take an in-depth look at the epic poem by Virgil. Virgil lived from 70 to 19 BC, which is a sequel to Homer's Iliad, telling the legendary history of the founding of Rome by the Trojan hero Aeneas. Homer's Iliad and Odyssey and Virgil's Aeneid will also be covered in class as part of the high school track. So let me amend this statement. Homer's Iliad will be covered in a great bit of detail, and the Aeneid is a sequel. It's a fan fiction sequel to the Iliad, written 800 years later. The Odyssey by Homer will be covered in much less detail as time permits, and then the Aeneid itself as a whole class will be covered as time permits. My expectation is that time will not permit. So, I should just change that sentence. Anyway, a good chunk of our time in class, will, starting second quarter, will be devoted to Homer's Iliad, and Virgil's Aeneid is a continuation of that story from the perspective of the surviving Trojans. So that is your second option. Option 2 for Rome. Option 3 for Rome, your artistic option is architecture of the Roman city. You'll explore key examples of Roman architecture from the cities of Rome, Ostia, Pompeii, and Herculaneum. There's especially Pompeii and Herculaneum, destroyed by Mount Vesuvius, but their destruction also preserved them in incredible detail for the ages, as they spent centuries buried under ash, and so you can walk into homes that are still vibrantly painted on the wall. Really a remarkable degree of preservation, but I say that having just a general dude on the streets knowledge of Roman architecture. Like the vase painting, I probably had 1 or 2 lectures in the entire course of my education on Roman architecture, so I claim no expertise here. I'm less able to help you on with these topics, or with this topic, than I am with the Aeneid or with Augustus, but don't let that stop you from choosing it if you are interested. So here's what your assignment is. You've got 6 options. You're going to choose 2. So everyone will choose between Alexander, Aristophanes, and vase painting for your Greek project, and everyone will also choose between Augustus, the Aeneid, and architecture for your Roman project. What I want you to do over the first about week and a half of class is to do simple research on those 6 project options. When I say simple research, I mean do Google searches, check out Wikipedia, maybe watch a YouTube video. Just get a feel for what these topics are about and which ones interest you the most. And then you will submit a document either on Schoology or on paper, simply telling me which Greek topic and which Roman topic you choose, and in 2 to 3 sentences each, why. So notice what all you're turning in is 2 short paragraphs, 2 to 3 sentence explanations of which options you're choosing. For Greece, Alexander, Aristophanes, or vase painting. For Rome, Augustus, Aeneid, or architecture. If you're watching this video in the year 2022, this is due 7:45 a.m. Monday, August 22nd. So that is the first day of the 3rd week of school. If I have reused this video in the future, due to my profound laziness, just talk to me in person about what your due date is. I would ask if there are any questions, but that's not how videos work. And I have these really cool Hawkman comics from about 2002 to get back to, so the end. Psych, not quite the end yet, almost the end. One other thing I want to talk about very briefly is our class covenant. This is a document that it is an agreement between yourselves and me regarding how we conduct ourselves, treat one another, our work, and our relationship together in this course. It was put together 3 years ago with a lot of input from my students during the 2019-20 school year, and it is open to revision, to suggestions from my current students. If there are things that are either have not been included that should be included, or things that any changes you'd like to make, I am open to suggestions. So far, since the first class that put this together, nobody has actually ever provided suggestions, but I do remain open to them. It is collaborative. Covenant is an ancient term from civilizations in the ancient Near East. It is a covenant is a contract, but stronger. It's a type of contract that creates relationship or even a family bond between the parties. Given that this is a college level course, I don't anticipate having any issues whatsoever with any of you. Behavior issues and disciplinary nonsense and things like that are just are typically not the concern of students in an advanced level course like this. However, just so we're all on the same page, everybody has the right to know what's expected of them and what their rights are and everything. So let's very briefly go over this document, and then the video will end for real. So this class is a community of human and academic formation built on dignity and respect. That term formation is something that I borrow from the university system, where I did both my undergraduate and graduate degrees, were both in schools run by Benedictine monks. And formation is, think of how a potter forms a vase. Formation, as I was saying, we're a community of academic and human formation. What we're saying is that in this room, in this class, we help to form, to build, to craft one another into the beings that we are growing into the people that we are becoming. On an academic level, academic formation is one of the pillars of formation. Intellectual and knowledge and accomplishment, but also on a more fundamental human level. We really, of course, this is one class out of many for you, in 1 year out of many of your lives, but every encounter we have has some impact on us, and in this class we're intentional about that. So, because we're a community of human and academic formation built on dignity and respect, therefore we do not physically harm, threaten, bully, or humiliate one another. We do not use vulgar or insulting language regarding race, gender or sexuality, religion, intelligence, economic status, or body type. We listen to one another. We welcome and celebrate diverse perspectives, even when we disagree. We disagree with others without attacking them. We allow ourselves to be disagreed with without imagining that we are being attacked. We do not use our phones during class discussions. We do not put our heads down during class discussions. We value our time together by attending class regularly and on time. We do not insult the hard work of our teacher and fellow students by wandering the halls or skipping class. We come to class prepared. We take the risk of participating in class discussions. We do not behave disruptively, since that robs our classmates of the opportunity to learn, which we have no right to dare to do. We do not cheat or plagiarize. If you've never had me as a teacher before, please do understand that while I am not at all a strict teacher on most things, this is a glaring exception to that. I have absolutely no tolerance for or patience with Plagiarism, especially in my college level courses, plagiarism will result in a score of 0 that cannot be made up, and a disciplinary referral, which means that if you're under 18, your parents will be contacted, and the Dean of Students will be notified, and he will determine what disciplinary consequences there will be. And we embrace accepting consequences whenever necessary and offering forgiveness whenever possible. That is our class covenant. Feel free to speak to me in person if you have any questions, or if you'd like to suggest any revisions. And now the end for real.